was worth the wait, guys. You guys are welcome to get off here or back. I'm just kidding, guys. Of course, I got a few rules and regulations. Once you want to get off, feel free to pay attention. First of all, no smoking on board our duck today, guys. We're sending a lot of fuel. Please wait till you get after. A few other things I'll also ask you to look up here. These are our life vests up here. These orange things above your heads, above these green beams. The kids' ones are here. Adult ones go all the way throughout. Required by the Coast Guard to around water to show you how to use them. You gotta pull one out above your head from those green beams. Looks just like this. Push your arms to the sides of it. Clip it in with the two clips. You can sit afloat without the water. Stylish float. Now we've never had to use life vests in 80 years of duck tours out here today since 1946. Not planning on being the first here today, but you gotta know how to use them and where they are. I'm gonna also ask you guys to please show me where the emergency exits are. Yeah, show me. That's right, I like this group. Everywhere you guys have pointed at, except the top windows, back, front, and the top up here. These are also emergency exits accessible here as well. You just pull on the L straps, just Velcro, comes right off if need to be. Two last things, please remain seated. Keep all the body parts on the inside of the duck that you want to bring home with you today while we're on land. Once you hit the water, feel free to let it hang loose on the windows. Chill while we're in the water. Remember, it's a family-friendly tour. And then I'm going to also ask you guys, raise your hands if it's the first duck tour ever. This is the first duck tour, is it? A couple of you guys. Right back there. It's all good. Don't be shy. Guess what? Because me too. Woo! Oh, man.
What? You don't know how to drive this thing?
Check. You guys hear me back there? Happy Labor Day weekend, folks. Welcome to the original Wisconsin Ducks and welcome aboard the amphibious duck, Sherry. Now, my name is Yevgeny. Or you call me Yev. I'm going to be your tour guide today, your pilot, your driver, maybe even an alligator wrangler. Oh boy, on today's 8.5-hour journey, we're going to be half on land, half on water. I do my job as well as I know I can, maybe even a little bit through the air. If you guys have any questions for me throughout the tour, please feel free to ask. I'll try to best to hear you out and answer those questions for you guys. If I miss one, just please don't get upset, hold on to it, and I'll answer it at the end of the tour. Keep in mind, you're going to be served a little bit of green abalone on today's tour. Please take it with a grain of salt. Coming up here off either side of our duck are these hand-carved granite statues. These hand-carved granite statues, they once decorated the Chicago Trade Border Building over, of course, the city of Chicago. Now in 1930, that building was demolished and taken down. Beforehand, the statues were taken off here, put up on sale, bought by Miss Helen H. Robb. She brought these out here in 1932 to decorate the lawns of her home. Very famous house from the 1800s called Dawn Manor. I'll show you where that home was later in today's tour. A lot of history around here in the Dallas area. Now I got a few fun facts in the meantime about this big green collector machine. Now our duck Sherry was built back in 1942 over in Pontiac, Michigan. These ducks were manufactured between the years of 1942 to 1945. To be used in World War II to carry troops and supplies on shore. That's exactly what they did during World War II. Now, since then, we've done a few modifications to these ducks. We have these canopies. You guys get to be blocked from the sun. I get beamed on up here, but it's all good. Now, Sherry measures in at 8 feet 2 inches wide, about 9.5 feet tall, 31 feet long, and weighs in at a slim and slender 7.5 tons. That's an empty duck, 7.5 tons, not including all of us. And I'm steering us here with no power steering. It's 7.5 tons, no power steering. Becomes a little bit of a challenge job to stay around all day. Now we got a 5.9 liter Cummins turbo diesel engine, 5-speed manual transmission up here. We can go about 45 to 50 miles an hour on land, or about 5 to 9 knots through the water. I have a new safety regulation here for the summer of 2025. So you guys might not have heard this in the past. The season of 2025, you guys ever feel like you're going to fall out the window for some reason, if you're going to fall out the window, please, what you need to do, we did a lot of research, what you need to do is please grab the person sitting directly next to you and take them with you. Because I'm only required to only stop for 2 or more passengers at a time. 2025. I don't know, man.
very common throughout today's tour to see lots of signs of wildlife. If you see any animals today, point it out, help everyone else see it as well. If you see an animal off the left, I'm going to try to keep us on the trail as best as possible. And also I'm going to look around if I see things. Also shout out to you guys here as well. Now in a very rare case scenario, we happen to not see any signs of wildlife today. I'm going to take this microphone off, hand it off to someone in the first row, and they're going to tell the whole tour about their wildlife. Holy moly, you got a first sign of wildlife here. It's a cute little baby stop sign. Oh, that's a little red and white, guys. See that guy?
Baby, what? Stop sign.
Baby stop sign, you guys.
Little baby.
What?
It is. Little baby stop sign.
Now, up here on our left, you guys can really see how fast those little ones grow up, you guys. These little kids just grow up so fast, don't they?
There's old one. Big stop sign.
Now, coming up here, we are approaching one of the most dangerous portions of today's tour, known as the S-turns. Now, due to the S-turns, I'm required by the Department of Transportation to complete stop. And I'm going to ask you guys to please reach underneath your seats underneath there, get the red safety seat belts, pull them up, and then pass them over your laps for me, please. If they might be knotted up, just be patient. Alright guys, I got mine. You guys all good to go? Alright guys, we have been looking for those for about 80 years, you guys. Please let me know if you find one. If you didn't get the joke, there is no seatbelts. It's gonna be okay. It's all part of the plan. It's just a joke. On our left here, it's the Sipavati Wildlife Park. See llamas and alpacas over there on our left. Not so wild, but oh dear. So that is wild. Over there, that's the zoo. This is all wild out here. Now we are descending through the S-turns into the beautiful Ferndale down here. You guys are out here at a very good time of day, so good job you guys coming out here today at this time. This is known as Ferndale. Ferndale is known to be home to 21 different species of ferns. Also known to be cooler temperature-wise. You're going to feel that really quickly here. It's cooler down here than the rest of the Dallas for two main reasons. First reason being the lush canopy of trees overhead keeps it really shady down here through Ferndale. The second reason being are these sandstone cliffs off to either side. These sandstone cliffs are very porous, a lot of moisture within it. Kind of makes it like a natural air conditioner down here. Makes it about 5 to 9 degrees cooler, especially right here. 5 to 9 degrees cooler on average than the rest of the Dallas. So, I think we're the coolest people in town right now. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prepare as we're about to stop and look for traffic. Before we enter into the beautiful Wisconsin River, I'm going to ask you guys, enjoy the beauty of it, guys, while we're out here. This river is very unique. Now, before we enter, the water's really low, so you got a kind of a unique tour of the water. A lot of exposed sandstone. You're going to see it discolored. Brace that seat in front of you before we enter. Take a deep breath with me. Bring your hand up and plug your nose. Cannonball! Just like that. We have driven in the Wisconsin River. But disengage your wheels here, activate our prop, and just like that, we have become a boat afloat in the Wisconsin River. The Wisconsin River is actually known to be one of the most hard-working rivers in the United States. It runs through 27 different hydroelectric dams, just through the short span of the river, about 246-ish miles. Produces a lot of electricity through those hydroelectric dams out here on the river. look ahead here, you're going to see a big jet boat coming right at us here on the right hand side. Left-hand side here, you guys are going to see Pulpit Rock, our first rock formation. Back in the early 1800s, a traveling preacher used to go on top of Pulpit Rock up here to preach his sermons to people who would gather around below on their longboats below. A lot of people started falling asleep because they thought it was pretty boring and they started floating down the river. So this traveling preacher decided to get a piano and spice up his act, putting it on top of Pulpit Rock. He'd sit up there and play his piano from the top of Pulpit Rock to preach his sermons around the early 1800s. People above and the fence that goes all the way along. They cut all the trees off out here, so it was open up for the preacher. But it was told by many at the time and written in multiple different things that a storm had rolled in overhead, struck a bolt of lightning directly into the middle of Pulpit Rock. You see the burn march the rock, and the rock split off to the left. That baby grand piano, it tumbled off to the right, where it still remains to this day as well. The legs on the right hand side of the piano resting up on Pulpit Rock, and the keys facing up towards the sky right there on the right hand side of Pulpit Rock. Fishing the Wisconsin River is very sought after. People come from all over the area in the U.S., all over the Midwest especially, to come to fish the Wisconsin River. Sturgeon in this river are known to get up to 7 feet long, up to 200 pounds in weight. Unreal. 200-pound fish swimming around down here. Now the sturgeon are bottom feeders. The water here is about 25 feet deep here. It's about 35 up ahead there where the other duck is. We have just come up to the most famous rock formation of our entire tour and the entire part of the lower Wisconsin River here, known as Hawks Beak. You guys look on our left here, look at the very top left of the sandstone cliff. I'm gonna turn. You guys can see two rocks poking out towards the water. That's the Hawk's beak. The bottom beak curving up towards the clouds. The top one coming straight out. Behind the beak in the top left, the long rock pointing towards us like this is the Hawk's wing as it soars over the Wisconsin River. I'm going to turn to the right hand side. You guys see it beautifully out here as well. You guys came out one of the best times today to see this rock formation. Now, Hawk's Beak in 1962 was featured on the front cover of Life magazine. Got its claim to fame, seen all around the United States, the front cover of the Life magazine, infamous magazine, still to this day, on the front cover there. And a lot of people pictured it as Hawk's Bill. That's what was the name on the magazine originally. However, Hawk's Beak kind of is a more fitting name, commonly known now as Hawk's Beak. Guys, this type of sandstone here along this part of the river, all around us, is a very, oh, never mind, sorry, did you say something? Question? No. So this type of sandstone, sorry about that. This type of sandstone is a very rare type of sandstone, only found in 4 places in the world. It was originally discovered in Potsdam, Germany, that's where it got its name. It was discovered Potsdam sandstone. Second of which it was found in Zurich, Switzerland. Third of which found in upstate New York in the U.S. It's mostly submerged underwater. And the fourth location is the Wisconsin River here, about this 8.5 mile strip here up the other side of us. This Potsdam sandstone here is located. This stuff's very rare. A lot of moisture within the sandstone makes it a very porous sandstone. Gives the ability for all these trees to grow the roots through these sides of the cliff of the sandstone with very little to even almost no topsoil. You can even see on the shorelines as well. approach here up to right, you guys are going to see this change in scenery, this opening door shoreline. Looks a lot different around us here. This is due to the worst natural disaster to ever come through this area, being the breach of Lake Delton. Really recently, on June 9th, 2008, Lake Delton rose up 52.5 inches up. The breach of Lake Delton occurred. A record amount of rainwater went into that lake and had nowhere to go. It was leaking over the levee, through the houses, into the highway, eventually breaching through, destroying 4 vacation homes completely, destroying County Highway A completely, and then the 400-foot wide of forest here was wiped out as well. Obviously, that was very devastating for all those locals at times. It still is to this day. Now, as you guys look to our left here, past this boat, you see where the sand and grass meet up at the top there. That line at the very top that goes all the way ahead on our left is the water level. 2008 from that breach. And oh wait, that's how high the river was after that breach there. Approaching our first amphibious landing of today's tour. A lot of people may think it is into that ramp over there off the right by these 4 pillars, but that is not where it is. It's actually into the creek ahead of us, known as Dell Creek. Now we have to drive through since it's an amphibious landing. I'm going to re-gauge your wheels here. Let's get closer and get us into 6-wheel drive. It does tend to get quite bumpy through the creek here. I do have to warn you guys, because of the sandbars, the water's really low. For example, these 4 pillars off the right normally are like halfway covered with water at least. Now I just back in a 6-wheel drive up here, you probably didn't even notice. Lots of ducks are known to get stuck here in the creek. In the last 80 years it is. If we happen to get stuck today, what we're going to do is myself along with the other adults on board, we're going to proceed to the back deck where we entered today. We're going to get all the children on board, carefully lower them one by one into the water. Then you guys are going to cheer them on as they push us to safety. Woo! Just like that. How does that sound, guys? Good? Alright, as long as it's okay with you guys. Been working pretty good for about 80 years. first full amphibious landing here. We're in 6-wheel drive. I got to get us back into 4, like just like that, like we were earlier in today's tour. Now it's rear wheel drive, but it's 4. We have 4 wheels in the back. These World War II machines here are very delicate, believe it or not. Gotta be really nice to them. Now coming up here on our left-hand side, you guys are gonna get a quick glimpse here in a moment of the W.J. Newman Dam. Now, this dam was originally built back in 1927 to hold back the rushing waters into the creek from the new Lake Delta. Now it's going to be hard to see here, but once we are waiting to enter the lake, you're going to get a better look at it. After the breach in 08, they renovated this dam, added an 80-foot wide spillway to the right-hand side of it. Put a lot of time into it. It took them a whole year. A lot of people think this is where the breach happened. This is not where it happened. I'll show you in a few moments where it did happen. Once we enter the lake here. Now, this next part of the tour, you guys are going to really enjoy. I could imagine this group is going to have fun entering the lake here. Now, how would you guys like to enter the lake today? Let me hear you. Fast or slow? Fast, all right. I see. I knew it was coming from you guys. I do have to warn you guys. There's going to be a big wave crashing over onto the hood of the duck up here. That big wave in the front compares nothing to the massive 50-foot tidal wave. It's going to come crashing onto the back deck of the duck, and then onto the floorboards once we hit the water. If you guys have any personal belongings that you don't want getting wet, I would highly suggest, that's right, you pick them up off the ground, because we have a policy here, kind of a federal law, that if anything washes up here past this green beam, we're required to keep it and sell on Facebook Marketplace. Except your small children, they don't come with a deal. You guys hold on to all of your things, you guys get those back. Hold on to your seats, hold on to the beams, brace for impact. As there's a little bit of an impact when we hit the water. You guys all ready? Yeah! One more time. Yeah! That's more like it, here we go. Hold on tight. I wasn't kidding about that tidal wave, guys, was I? I never am. And there's the W.J. Newman Dam, folks. Feel free to turn around, take all the dam photos you guys want. You guys, I'm going to do something pretty special. This is actually my 1000th tour, so I'm going to let any of the kids on board my 1000th tour to drive the duck if they want. If any kids want to drive the duck, raise your hand. Okay, one at a time. I'm going to help you guys out. Come up here one at a time. Congratulations, all you guys. You're scheduled to work tomorrow at 7:30, so hope you guys are going to be here. Now, on our left here, you can see these tree houses being built. Now, normally we don't come out that far, only because of that special thing. We just came out this far. Normally we gotta cut the lake a little bit shorter. These tree houses you guys can see here are being built by the Treehouse Builders, a TV show, if you ever heard of it. It's a TV show. They build cool tree houses. They're building a bunch of them here. They're going to be done by next summer. That white house over there, that's the owner of Mount Olympus's house. But he built that house. It's on a little island in front of a bunch of different houses. So all those houses that used to be lake houses, now all they see is his house now. So a lot of people over there don't really like him very much because he built that big house and blocking all their views out quite a bit. And this property here used to be owned by Captain Abraham Vanderpool. Abraham Vanderpool signed the Wisconsin Constitution. He was friends with Lincoln during the Civil War, and he was also a commander of the 13th Infantry that went down to the Carolinas, first at Camp Randall, and now the Carolinas. This is his house. It was out here. You can't see it anymore, but it used to be right out here on this property. A lot of history over here off to our left, back to the Civil War. This is also exactly where the breach of Lake Felton happened. Before all these rentals and condos were built here, there used to only be 4 private houses here. 4 people lived in those houses that were here. Where you see those 2 people on the bench right there, there's 4 benches. Each one of those resemble those 4 vacation homes that fell into the water, washed through to the breach. It was very devastating. At the time, all of us locals here, I actually knew one of the people, not personally, but I knew he and his family moved here from Chicago. They started building a house right here. It was almost done. Didn't have insurance yet, and they got wiped out. Completely fell into the water, floated through into the river. Now, of course, that was all destroyed, no insurance, but a lot of us locals here at the time helped out that guy and his family because, well, he had nowhere to go at the time. And right at the edge of the lake here, you're going to see the opening here. The river's right on the other side. That's where 250 million gallons of water went from this lake into the river. The reason why there's still a lake here is because they refilled it back with water, fixed it, fixed the highway, etc., everything behind it. Like that, back in 4-wheel drive, we were in 6 coming out of their ramp there. This is where the breach happened. This lake went through here. Now, this rental house was the only house that survived. The 4 others went into the water and fell through here. Went through the highway, through everything. I mean, this is where it happened. This is as close as you can really get without trespassing over the property over there. We are entering the beautiful Dell Scenic Park. Dell Scenic Park is going to be home to many different species of wildlife, some of which would not all include the white-tailed deer. There's a lot of big bucks out here that they're not very scared of ducks for some reason. They're so used to seeing them. A lot of turkeys out here. There's turkey vultures, there's hawks, there's eagles. There's also lions, squirrels, and bears. Man, if you see one of those lions or bears out here today, please shout it out, just scream as loud as you can and point at it so it can swerve out of the way just like this and hit them. You guys are probably thinking, why would you want to hit something like a lion or a bear? Let me tell you, all of us stunt drivers here, we're all die-hard Green Bay Packer fans, so we don't like lions and bears. The reason why we haven't seen a single lion or bear yet is because I came out here yesterday, Friday morning at 5 a.m. I painted a big white rectangle around the entirety of this whole park. It took me about 4 hours actually. and I named it the End Zone. I know the Lions and Bears, well, they're not the best at getting into those end zones. That's why I named it the End Zone out here. With those little baby stop signs. There's another one here, guys. Look. Aww. Take a look, guys, if you want, if you're on the right side. It's a little baby over there. Might go stop and ask here. They're talking about football. Do we have any Lions or Vikings fans on board the Duck today? You're shy? No? Now, normally this is the walking portion for all those fans here. I say, hope you guys enjoy nature. It's about an 8-mile hike back through the walk here. But you know what? Check it out anyways. Off to the right here is our Vikings Super Bowl trophy case replica. And off the left is the Lions Super Bowl trophy case replica right there as well. Very cool part of the tour. Now, I'd be willing to bet that we have some roller coaster fans on today's tour. Now, we are approaching a roller coaster hill. Here comes 3, 2, 1, hands up. That was a lot of fun, right, guys? Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Oh, take that, Six Flags. All right, did we lose anyone back there? Please let me know if so. No? Okay, good. Come up on the right here. A very beautiful view, guys. I'm going to stop the Duck. We're not really supposed to stop all the time, but check it out here. Here's the Wisconsin River. It's called Last Look Point. You can see 2 duck tours right next to each other out there. You guys look all the way down the river. That sand point at the very back left is where we enter the river on today's tour. It's known as Echo Point. Echo Point.
Why?
Did you guys hear that? Man, isn't that incredible? That's wild. Oh, it does that every time. The second reason why it does that, well, not that, but this cliff here, it's called Last Look Point, is because this is a 75-foot cliff right here. Right? We're right on the edge of it. Meaning it really could be the last cliff if we get anything today or ever. If your driver's not careful today. So if you guys are a little bit nervous like me, just do what I do. Just cover your eyes. Oh, you guys better help me. Which way was it? I forgot. Left? Did someone say right? Don't you guys worry too much. Your safety's in very good hands out here today, especially with me being your driver. Now, my first summer of tours, I came out here to specifically install this steel barricade. Make sure I don't roll my duck off like this off the trail. It would just save us. You guys are probably thinking, what are you talking about? That looks like chicken wire. Hear me out. Hank at the hardware store, Hank personally assured me if his chicken wire can hold back some chickens, he said it can surely hold back some ducks too, buddy. On our left here, this is the Lake of the Dells. This lake was founded back in 1943 for one reason, to be the breeding grounds of the state Wisconsin summer bird, the mosquito. Now this next part of our tour over here are the lowlands trails. Now a lot of people really enjoy the beautiful nature out here, so I'm going to shut off the microphone and let Mother Nature do all the talking. guys want to take a cool video of some sandstone, get your phones out now or cameras out as we are approaching Redbird Gorge. Redbird Gorge here is pretty interesting. Now our duck is very narrow, however, this is also very narrow. Our duck's 8 feet 2 inches wide. Redbird Gorge is only 8 feet 6 inches wide. So that's a 4-inch difference of space between the duck and the sandstone that we have to work with here. A lot of drivers kind of bump and scrape through here pretty commonly. Let's see if we can do this one perfect this time. But keep me accountable and look off to either side here. No pressure now, I guess. We just slithered through Redbird Gorge. It happens to be the steepest part of today's tour is up next here. Right after the narrowest, up here is Black Hawk Gorge, named after Chief Black Hawk. Now my first piece of recommendation, if you have any drinks or anything that might spill or fall, hold on to your stuff as we descend through Black Hawk Gorge. As you guys look around here, all these trees are growing their roots through sandstone. Just like out on the river you guys are looking at here, this is a much closer scale. You can really see how these roots go through, out and around the sandstone. Now this area here as well as Redbird Gorge, and there's a deer up there. I can't stop on this hill here. It's right up there.
Up here. The leaves.
Now it's believed that the water created all this carving through these gorges. Back in the day, the river also was supposed to have ran through here at one point. This is all natural out here. Now this is called Turkey Hollow. It's pretty steep also, but it's the other way around. So I'll tell you a story about this hill once we get to the top. Hey guys, about 2 years ago, I was first starting to get a little bit confident in these tours here. And you need to get a CDL to drive these ducks, and you need a lot of training, specifically from the ducks management. And once you finally get out here on your own, well, you're fully on your own, and all of a sudden, I was driving through here just like this, faster. I slammed on the brakes because I saw a little baby bear in the very back of that valley. Now we heard the little baby bear crying really, really loud, right? So my tour kind of encouraged me to go down there and ask him what's wrong. I was feeling really confident and brave at the time. I went down there, walked down there, I said, "Little baby bear, what's wrong, buddy? Why are you crying?" Now little baby bear, he opened up to me. You know, he said, all these other big bears around these woods, they keep making fun of me all the time, telling me I'm little. And you know what, they keep beating up on me, and I don't know what to do anymore. So I gave that little guy my best piece of advice that I could. I said, "Little baby bear, you gotta be a lot more confident in yourself, I can tell, and maybe you should try to move down to Chicago, start walking down that way. You know, heard the bears down there, they don't beat up on anyone down there in Chicago, buddy." That's the last time I saw the little baby bear.
What kind of bear was it?
I think it was a little black bear.
Okay.
Now up here you guys, all of a sudden we are now approaching towards the end of our tour. Probably went by quicker than you expected because you had a little bit of fun, I hope. However, we're not fully done yet. We still have a few interesting things to look at here, like this forest here, these perfectly straight rows of trees. Now, Miss Helen Rao plants all these trees here. After a fire came through taking the previous forest out, Miss Helen Rao rode the first duck tour ever in 1946. After the tour, she was the only one on it. She left a nice tip to the driver, and she donated the land that we just drove through to that one duck driver. Signed it off as long as it's preserved like it was 80 years ago today. That's what we're doing out here ever since. Now the Dells, it's for yourself. Not only cool water parks and stuff to do, but also look at this beautiful nature. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Yevgeny. My third summer driving tour. It's not my first tour ever. Actually one of our oldest drivers. But we're all college kids here. I go to college at the University of Wisconsin La Crosse, up and a half. Where I'm studying, I have a few days here. I'm studying finance and logistics. All the drivers here, we do our best to make our tours specific and unique. I make mine a lot better than the normal ones are supposed to be. Now, us drivers, we're all tip-based, so I do my best. If you got any tips or gratuities, they're very, very greatly appreciated, as I do fully fund myself from those tips or gratuities at the University of Wisconsin La Crosse, about an hour and a half north here where I study up there. Coming up on the right-hand side here. Got a few more cheesy jokes for you guys. The cheesier the cheddar, since we are in Wisconsin. That tangent at the door's open right there. That's our shop. Home to our 7 year-round mechanics that work in there. There's 7 mechanics working these ducks from 1942 to 45. Keep them happy and healthy. We call them our quack doctors. Our quack doctors are really good at what they do. Us duck drivers takes a lot of practice training to be able to drive these ducks around so confidently and be able to talk while you're doing it, shifting gears. However, they have a lot of issues a lot of times, and they break down pretty often. Our quack doctors got to do a lot of work keeping them happy and healthy year-round for 80 years. And here's our duck graveyard, because they can't all be saved. May they rust in pieces. Hey guys, you were one of my favorite groups today. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but whatever. Really enjoyed having you guys out here today. Now, if you guys enjoyed my tour, my name was Yevgeny with the wire, Yev. You rode on Sherry. If you guys did not like the tour, then my name was Will, and you guys rode on Palermo. Thank you guys for coming out here today. Please remain seated as I take you in the dock here. I'm going to make sure you guys get off the dock safely and enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Okay.